Most purchase journeys have too many unnecessary and complicated steps, each one massively increasing the chance that your potential customer will abandon their purchase and never visit your store again, which is why the most successful brands in e-commerce are starting to use social commerce. In this video, I'm going to explain what social commerce is, why it's the future, and make sure to stick around to the end because I'm going to show you how to use it to effectively make money online. So what is social commerce? Well, let's start by describing e-commerce, which broadly encapsulates the buying and selling of goods online. The model is good, but it's not perfect. These days, over 50% of internet traffic is done by mobile devices. Why is this an issue? Because if you're on a mobile, you can get a notification that pops up that takes you away from your shopping cart. It's way easier to get distracted, and the result is that cart abandonment is way higher on mobile devices. The answer to this is to streamline the process as much as possible, and this is where social commerce comes into play. Basically, it just removes all the drop-off points that can result in an abandoned transaction. Social commerce sells products directly through the app, so you're not taken to another web page where you're in a checkout of a Shopify store. It's all done through the app, and that's why it's not the same as social media marketing, because social media marketing takes you through to a Shopify store. Social commerce, you complete the transaction in the app itself. It's a far more streamlined way of doing it, and because the social media giants already have your personal details, your credit card details, your address, it results in only a few clicks to complete a purchase. Basically, social commerce is about making purchases as easy as possible. It removes potential confusion and thus abandonment. Social commerce is still really young, so every social media platform handles it differently, but the earliest adopter and biggest dog in the game is definitely Facebook. I'm sure you've heard of the Facebook Marketplace by now. It's been around for years. Let's talk about it. Facebook shops have a really low barrier of entry because they're so easy to set up and they're free. You can sync all of your products from a partner program like Shopify, for example, or you can just upload all your products through a spreadsheet. These features create new digital storefronts and can be found organically through Facebook Marketplace or can be promoted within the platform itself through paid advertising through Facebook, of course. Instagram benefits from being a visual platform. You've definitely seen ads on Instagram. If you have Instagram, swipe up to buy this new lamp that will shoot stars onto your ceiling. Instagram offers a more creative social commerce experience. So you can tag regular posts with products, and then the user can tap on the tag and be taken straight to a storefront within Instagram and then purchase it from there. It's all very streamlined. And of course, Instagram is all about vanity and aesthetics and beauty. So it's a really nice fit, especially if you're selling jewelry or something like that. Product pins on Pinterest is not exactly social commerce because it still redirects you to a different page, but it's very similar to how Instagram does it with the tags. So you can tag a post with purchasable items. So a lot of people are sleeping on Pinterest because it doesn't have the best reputation. When I think of Pinterest, I think of like mood boards and I think of like knitting and that sort of stuff. But most people go on Pinterest for shopping inspo. So it's obviously a really good place to sell things. One and one together, and you can figure that out. 89% of Pinterest users are actively searching for things to buy. So that's the hard facts there. Social commerce is often talked about the future of digital sales. And if you are interested in the future of digital sales, make sure to subscribe down below. We talk about marketing news and advice. But the truth is, all of the big platforms are still trying to figure out how to make it work. For example, if you're using chatbots, you usually need an app like ManyChat or Jumper AI to actually check out from the Messenger window. And there's heaps of studies that show how chatbots can create a really streamlined purchase journey for customers, but very few of these brands actually use the native solutions that are provided by the social media platforms. They're usually using the apps that I just mentioned. So I guess I've talked about what social commerce is, but let's talk about why social commerce is. Why do we think it's going to be the future of e-commerce? Well, the short answer is because of China. So most of the features that we know and love in Facebook Messenger actually originated from WeChat. Facebook steals their their features all the bloody time. One of Facebook's most recent patents is artificial intelligence that uses Facebook Messenger to process payments, but of course, WeChat already has this feature. Within the past 5 years, e-commerce within China has boomed, but the interesting thing is that they prefer one channel above the rest: mobile. Obviously, this is a trend that we see here as well, but in China, not only do they use mobile browsers like Safari, for example, to make purchases, but more and more they're using social media platforms to make purchases. And not just purchases, but they're using social media to leave reviews, to get in touch with the brands, to ask for advice. Social media is becoming way more relevant when it comes to e-commerce in China. If you take a look at all the various developments in social media platforms and social commerce, there's definitely a trend of copying what's working in China and adapting them to our market. But that could come to fruition in 5 to 10 years. Are you gonna wait around until the phenomenon has hit its height? Hell no, you're gonna jump on that trend early. Let's talk about how is social commerce. How to effectively use social commerce. If you think that you're gonna sell a motorbike or a Lamborghini through social commerce, you're wrong. People are on social media to just waste time in a pretty enjoyable way, so these high-ticket items that need some consideration typically just don't do very well at all. So what you need to do is focus on low-priced items. $50 around about seems to be the sweet spot. You're more likely to make a sale with low-cost items and impulse buys because that's way more in line with the platform. But don't worry, you can still sell them that Lamborghini, it's just gonna take a little more time. Once they've made the small purchase from your store and you've introduced the brand to them, make sure to take their email address. What we can do now is start to nurture the relationship we have with the customer. We can send them emails over the next coming weeks and months, and before we know it, that $50 will turn into $1,000 and the $1,000 will turn into a Lamborghini. Perhaps. It's definitely a longer path to the main purchase, but the customer lifetime value, which is the amount of money that they spend at your store over their lifetime, is actually much higher than it would have been if you had just tried to sell them the Lamborghini in the first place. Another tip with social commerce is that you need to focus on engagement over sales. Yes, you're a business and you need to make money, but on social media, the father of sales is engagement. So look at what other brands are doing in your space and see how they're engaging with their customers. Influencers, influencers, influencers. People are obsessed with influencers, especially drop shippers. The thing is, to get a big influencer is actually really hard. Funnily enough, Kim Kardashian doesn't just promote any old store. And the truth is, these influencers are usually pretty out of touch, and these days, authenticity matters. And a celebrity who spent their 40th birthday on a private island for 5 days to escape a global pandemic is pretty out of touch. So the better option is micro-influencers. In fact, influencers that have less than 35,000 followers have the highest engagement. The trend of favoring smaller influencers is definitely something you should be taking advantage of when it comes to social commerce. So a real advantage of social commerce is that it has built-in social proof. You've probably figured it out already, but it's pretty hard to get a customer to leave a review on a product that you've sold them. You'll have to send them an email, and that'll have to get through their spam filters, and then the customer has to actually open it and then be in a generous enough mood to actually click through and type in their review and take a photo and 5 stars. The result is a pretty low conversion rate from customer to reviewer. Likes on a post tell other users that this is something to pay attention to. It's not exactly user-generated content in the traditional sense, but every like, comment, share is a positive mention of your brand. Now let's look at it from a user's perspective. No matter how good your marketing material is, if they see your ad, they know that you're trying to sell them something. However, let's look at a consumer who has absolutely nothing to gain from making a comment on your post or sharing a post that you made. The user will trust that consumer way more than they're going to trust you. Social commerce kind of blurs the line between promotion and user-generated content because likes, comments, shares all add value to your marketing material over time, and this will only improve as time continues on. Now, it's not all sunshine and roses. Some people do have some criticisms of social commerce, and that is completely reasonable. Let's talk about it now just quickly. So the one negative to all of this is that sellers are losing control over the customer. The more involved social media platforms are in the buying process, the more power they take away from small and large businesses. When a customer checks out on Instagram, for example, Instagram is the one that sees where the customer went, their journey path, what they clicked on, what they viewed. None of that information goes to the retailer. And this means that you can't create a personalized experience next time for this customer. Additionally, perhaps worst case scenario is that Instagram could even sell this data hypothetically to a competitor. So what does this mean for social commerce? Well, I think it's a great way to connect to customers for the first time, but after that, you should pull them towards your own store for future purchases. So let's recap. Your audience is spending more time on their phone and they expect quick and easy solutions to problems, and they're sharing everything they do on their phone. The only logical action is to take advantage of these behaviors and start selling through the channels your customers are most engaged with the checkouts that they're looking for. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, check out this video I made the other week about the Allbirds founder Tim Brown, who started from nothing and now has a $2 billion Shopify store. Have a great day.